Hi, I got this piece out from a shelf in the shop actually in order to use as a background for the previous video on emeralds to announce to you folks that we had the emeralds in. But I remember this piece and it's just so beautiful. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. It's £80 is the actual price of it, but it's a beautiful piece, and it's got several different levels to it to think about it, which I just wanted to talk to you about. It's formed calcite, and it's called Sectarian. It's called a Sectarian nodule. Well, this is a slice from a Sectarian nodule. It's been polished on this side, so you can actually see the real shine on it. If you look at the other side, you'll see it's slightly less polished, so you can see the difference. And the original level of reflection on the stone would be shown by this part on the outside. Now, it's a beautiful object in itself, absolutely stunning, I think. But it's also a beautiful object because of what it represents, really. Calcite, as you know, is a very gentle and healing stone. Well, it comes in many forms. I'm not sure what all the different minerals are that have joined in with this calcite here that cause the different colours. But for example, that gold is very likely to be some pyrite. And then there's probably iron in here and so on and so forth, creating this beautiful banding through the piece. But obviously stones are all pretty old, but there's a lovely fact about Sectarian nodules, calcite, that comes from this source, which is just shows you the kind of time scale that things work on. So if you think about when you've seen a puddle on a road that's drying up, yeah, and you see it over a couple of days, you might see the first of all just the water, and then as it dries you see the mud at the edges, and then when it becomes fully dry, before it's dusty, you start to get cracks in the mud where the water has dried up. Now, it's basically that same process which forms the habitat in which Sectarian nodules, calcite in the form of Sectarian nodules, actually forms. Because these form in the cracks in dried up mud flats. So where you get a mud flat that is drying up for whatever reason, if the water's receding, changes in the geological environment and so on and so forth, just like with a puddle at the side of the road, because there's no water, or the water's being dried out, you get these cracks forming. And it's actually in those cracks in the mud flats, these ancient mud flats, truly ancient, that you find these nodules can form. And then later on, obviously you find the nodule, though the mud flat's long gone. And I just think it's a lovely representation of time in a stone, to think of that way that they actually form, and the record of the mineralisation of the calcite in the different colours and patterns that form within it as it's formed. Because this actual outside part of the stone, the rough part here, was actually the part that literally was touching and within the actual crack in the mud flat that it formed in. And then you have all this on the inside. So I just thought I'd share that because I like to think about time in relation to crystals and stones in general, and how they relate to time and how I relate to them. It's always fascinated me, and I thought it might interest you. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say really about this piece. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time.